All right. So my name is Toastmaster Joey, and I would like to welcome all of you to this wonderful and exciting session for tonight in Desert Voices Toastmaster Club. We are indeed privileged to deep dive into a crucial aspect of public speaking, crafting your international speech, led by our none other than our DTM, accomplished and inspiring Toastmasters with a wealth of knowledge to share, our very own chartered president, uh, Jijie Zablan. Ayan. Good evening, DTM Jijie, all the way from California. And as we gather here tonight, whether you are a seasoned speaker or a budding enthusiast, let's remember that every speech we craft has the power to inspire, move, and create an impact beyond boundaries. With the guidance of DTM Jijie Zablan, we'll uncover the secrets of elevating our storytelling and structures to an international level. Before we begin, here are the few reminders. Kindly ensure your microphones are muted unless you are speaking. Feel free to use the chat for questions or comments, and we'll address them at the appropriate time. Let's keep the energy high and engagement active tonight, all right? In behalf of our amazing EXCom of Desert Voices Toastmaster Club, let us set back, take a note, and let's make tonight a transformative experience for our speaking journey. So tonight, to begin with, what we're gonna do is we will watch our world champions, namely Luisa Montalvo, our champion. We have Hannah Cheng, and of course, Angeli Ravenfitch. Well, that will begin our session for tonight. So let's watch this attentively so that when our the educational session start, we will be relating to what she is going to tackle tonight. So are you all excited? So lend your ear for us. So let's watch first our third runner-up speaker. Okay, let me share my screen.
Angeli Raven Fitch, replaced by Sophia. Replaced by Sophia, Angeli Raven Fitch.
Thank you, Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
It's Friday afternoon. I'm heading to the train station to get home to celebrate an amazing day at work. I'm a global voice of a healthcare company whose mission is to save lives. And I get to communicate that message every day. It's my dream job. On the way to the train station, my boss, Bob, sends me a text message. Oh, he probably heard about the great job I did at the latest campaign. So I get to the office, and he's got this weird look on his face. Says to me, "We're replacing your voice." What? "You're being replaced by Sophia. She's available 24/7. She speaks 19 languages. She costs 1% of what we pay you, and she doesn't need health insurance." You're replacing me with a robot? She's not a robot. She's our AI agent. You know, artificial intelligence. Contest Chair, fellow human beings, I've been replaced by AI. Now, I stood in Bob's office, frozen and shocked. I wanted to say, "I've been your voice for 6 years. How dare you? I've been committed to this company for 6 years, and you replace me with something that's not even human?" But instead, I say nothing. I leave, stunned, ashamed. I walk to the train station. And who do I hear? I hear Sophia. "Train approaching. Please have ticket ready for inspection." She sounds so fake, doesn't she? And she doesn't even feel guilty that she stole my job. I get home to a stack of bills staring at me, My anxiety is through the roof. My confidence is rock bottom. I drown in my depression for a few weeks. I've been working on my voice my whole life to be able to speak the truth, to speak from my heart. And now I'm being replaced. Have you ever felt discarded? Thrown away like a piece of trash? No longer needed? My best friend Grace, she was worried about me. She said, "You need to get out of the house." But everywhere I went, there was Sophia at the store. "Attention, customers, only 2 cartons of ice cream at the bank. Your account has reached $0. Please, get a job." "Really, Sophia? Because you just stole mine." Okay, Grace was really worried. She had to do an intervention. She said, "You need to be around some human beings. I'm sick of talking about Sophia. You talking about Sophia. You're coming with me to my writing group. It's storytelling night." Okay. So I went there, and it was amazing. The people were really warm and friendly and human. And one by one, each person stood up and told their story. And Lucia's voice trembled as she talked about her daughter going away to college. I could feel how much she loved her daughter. And Kareem's voice cracked as he talked about taking care of his mother who has cancer. I could feel his pain. And AJ talked about holding his son for the first time. I could feel his joy and love. I sat there with tears running down my cheeks, feeling so connected to these people through their voices. I would never have felt this way if Sophia told their stories. And it made me think about the voices in my life that are missing. I would give anything to hear my mother's voice again. Tell me that she loved me. Are there any voices in your life that you wish you could hear again? Voices that can't be replaced by AI? I was so grateful to be a part of that group. I left that group with a renewed sense of purpose. Your voice matters. My voice matters. Well, about a month later, much to my surprise, Bob called me. He wanted to meet for lunch. Okay. I get to the restaurant. He looks at me and says, "Unfortunately, it's not working out with Sophia." "Really, Bob? She's not able to speak from the heart like you can. Would you consider replacing Sophia?" "I'll consider it, Bob. Let's get something clear. I'm not available 24/7. I don't speak 19 languages. I cost a lot more than 1% of what you're paying for Sophia, and I do need health insurance." Fired for being human, rehired for being human. What has this world come to? AI is everywhere. The train has left the station, and it's moving fast. And I'm all for technology and innovation. AI has done some incredible things. But the human voice, wouldn't you agree, cannot be replaced by a machine. The human voice is more than a tool for communication. It's a tool for connection. It's our emotions, our dreams, our stories. And when you speak, you're not just saying the words. You're sharing a piece of your soul. And if you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat under the words. Humanity and technology can exist. And I believe that the future of the voice in 100 years will still be the human voice. What legacy will you leave with your voice? Nothing can replace your human voice. Contest chair.
Okay, that's our third runner-up. Now let's play our first runner-up. Let's watch.
Hannah Cheng, are you ready? Are you ready? Hannah Cheng.
Thank you, Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
Oh, as to the question, are you ready? The answer is, of course, not. Have you ever wanted to do something? Traveling around the world, starting your own business, taking on new challenges, but you didn't feel ready to do it. I know how it feels. I was born and raised in Hong Kong. When I was 21, I traveled to Europe for the first time. It is where water is more expensive than wine, where people will kiss you on the cheek, where pineapples on pizzas are illegal. Mamma mia! So interesting. That trip sparked a desire. I want to live abroad. And then my mom said, living abroad? Honey, you don't even know how to cook. Why don't you finish your law degree first? Yeah, Mom. Maybe it's too early. After 5 years, I finished my law degree, I got my lawyer's license. I want to live abroad. Then my sister said, exactly, Hannah, you just got your lawyer's license. You should start working first. And you still don't know how to cook. Well, makes sense. After 5 more years, I've worked hard for 5 years. I want to live abroad. And then my inner voice said, Hannah, oh, Hannah, you spent 10 years building your career in Hong Kong, now you want to give it up, you crazy? Have you ever wanted to do something, but the voices around you, even the voices inside you, told you that you're not ready? One day, I was working in the office when my boss, Mr. Tong, came in. Mr. Tong is a very experienced lawyer, always in a sleek suit. He's my role model. Hannah, let's have lunch together. Oh, sure, Mr. Tong. So we went to his favorite restaurant. We were eating, talking about our cases, when Mr. Tong dropped a bomb. Hannah, I want to promote you as a partner of the law firm. Let's start next month. Mr. Tong, thank you so much, but I don't have enough experience. I'm not ready. And Mr. Tong looked at me like I'm an idiot. Hannah, you will never be ready. Just start. You'll find the way. But Mr. Tong, you're right. I will never be ready. Just start. You're so right. Thank you so much, Mr. Tong. I quit. I'm moving abroad. So I quit my job and moved to Taiwan. Was it easy? No. But Mr. Tong is right. Once you start, you'll find the way. And you know what? In Taiwan, I met my destiny. It was a hot summer day. I was melting, so I dashed into the first cafe I found. And I was greeted by Oscar. Handsome, charming, about my age. We started chatting. Suddenly, Oscar looked at me, straight in the eye. I saw sparkles of passion, and I thought, we just met. It's too fast. I'm not ready. And he asked, Hannah, have you heard of Toastmasters? Toast? What? Oscar, I don't know how to cook. But Mr. Tong said, just start. You'll find the way. So I joined. And Oscar became my mentor. We have so much chemistry. After 6 months, finally, this time, he asked me the question, Hannah, would you join the speech contest? I'm not ready, okay? But what did Mr. Tong say? So I joined the contest, and I regretted it. I had no idea what to say. I felt lost. I wanted to run away from this. I didn't feel ready. But I knew I would never be ready. So I started, and here I am. Is there something that you've always wanted to do? A better you that you've always wanted to be, but you don't feel ready? Maybe you're afraid of the unknown, afraid that you're not good enough, afraid that you may fail. But the truth is, you will never be ready. So don't wait. It's never too early. It's never too late. Just start. You'll find the way. Contest chair.
All right, that's wonderful. Now we get to the champion of this year. So let's play it.
Montalvo.
Thank you, Contest Chair.
You're welcome.
Clear! Clear! We have a female, unresponsive, no pulse. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters from around the world, and guests. 2 years ago, a horrific automobile accident, and that unresponsive female was me. For 6 minutes, my heart stopped beating. Best sleep ever. My co-driver and I had just finished dropping off 88 homeless shelter dogs to a dog rescue in New Jersey. On the way back, as I sat in the passenger seat of the van, that's when the accident happened. As I lay there unconscious, 37 strangers in the way of firefighters, EMT specialists, helicopter pilots, surgeons, nurses, all came together to try to save my life. Because death, it's so final. Now, I don't recall anything because I was asleep. But those 6 minutes, my imagination ran away from me, and I can almost imagine what happened with me trying to get into heaven. Probably went like this. I'm standing there in front of the pearly gates. St. Peter's on his iPad. I can even see my God in the background playing with his dogs. Oh, and I say my God because I don't want to offend some of you. I want to offend all of you. St. Peter, I'm Luisa Montalvo. St. Peter says, I don't even have you on the agenda. Hang on. He goes back to talk to God and says, God, Luisa Montalvo's here. And God says, I don't have anybody for 2 minutes. He says, wait a minute. St. Peter, was this a car accident? St. Peter says, yes, it was. Luisa Montalvo, makes sense. Have you ever seen her drive? No, God, she was the passenger. Luisa, is she the one trying to save my homeless dogs in Texas? Yes, God, that's her. God leans over, waves at me, and says, Luisa, today's not your day. It's not your time. He leans over to St. Peter's iPad and hits the reset button. At that moment, I'm imagining that that's when they take that final attempt to try to get me to save my life. Put the pedals on me. Clear! And I start to breathe again. Now, for the next 90 days, I'm in a trauma center and in a rehab facility, questioning my life. What was my value? What was I worth? I couldn't even walk. What good was I? And then it hit me. I'm rolling myself into the gym, ready to work out that final week before I go home. And even though my father said, quitters cry, I started to cry. I wheel myself to my machine. I start working out, and this young, handsome man is working out next to me. Hi, how are you doing? I'm getting married soon. I haphazardly listen to his wedding plans, and then I start to ask myself, why is he even here? He looks so young and fit. And just like that, I looked down and realized he's just recently lost both of his legs. And yet, here he was, with a smile on his face, happy he'd been given a second chance, and life was not going to get away from me. He wasn't going to waste a single minute. Wow. I know a lot of us go through life, and sometimes we even question our value. Why are we even here? But if 37 strangers were able to see the value in me, all their positive input, I am now making that part of my output. Because, we will listen to a stranger that tells us we have value before we listen to ourselves. It's true. If you're needing some stranger to tell you you have value, allow me to be that stranger. Because if 37 people can come together and put all this energy into me, can you imagine what 1,700 of us could accomplish? All it is treating each other with dignity and worth. How awesome would it be if we could all be united like this every day? If you're ready to hit that reset button, if you're looking for that second chance, let's hit that reset button. Are you ready? Clear? Clear. Adam Toastmaster.
Wow, and that's our world champion 2024. And tonight, it is our privilege again to welcome all of you in behalf of Desert Voices Toastmaster Club. Thank you for coming tonight to welcome our presenter for the evening. Let's welcome her, and let me introduce her. And of course, after introducing her, I would like everyone to dance in Desert Voices Toastmaster Club music right after this so that she can come in with the energy. Are you all excited? So let me introduce to you our speaker for the evening. Milagros Jijie Zablan is an international training specialist and an executive coach. And I love her tagline, I am at my best when I bring out the best in you. Jijie Zablan is a seasoned international training specialist and executive coach with over 20 years of experience in leadership development and organizational effectiveness and human capital transformation. A certified desk behavioral styles consultant since 2007, Middle East and Europe, and certified in 2022, USA, Australia, and Canada. Jijie specializes in delivering high-impact workshops that unlock potential in leaders and teams. In California, Jijie founded Great Minds Alliance, offering transformative coaching, workshops, and consultancy services, drawing on her extensive experience working in healthcare as an activity assistant at Westwood Post Acute. She now provides special desk workshop for medical and healthcare organizations where she has witnessed firsthand the critical needs for effective communication and leadership in this sector. By the way, DTM Jijie Zablan is our Desert Voices Toastmaster Club Chartered President. To welcome her, let us all dance with the Desert Voices Toastmaster Club. DTM Jijie, can we replace a bit of your PowerPoint for a meantime so we can share the audio of the dance so everyone can have the energy? Are you all ready to dance? All right. I think Toastmaster Petro, Toastmaster Shah is ready to dance. Hold on. Let's share the screen so all of you can follow the lyrics as well. All right, everybody dance. Can you hear that?
Desert voices make the sound. Future leaders breaking free. Toastmasters in the city. Speak your mind and make it clear. No more shyness, no more fear. Rise and shine, let your voice flow. On this stage we all grow. Desert voices echo loud. Toastmasters make us proud. In this club we stand tall. Speaking truths, breaking walls. Oh. From the sands we build our dreams, Dubai's rhythm in our themes, sharing stories full of might, lit up by the city lights. Confidence is what we learn, every meeting where we turn, toast to courage to the sun, desert dreamers one by one, desert voices echo loud, Toastmasters make us proud, in this club we stand tall, speaking truths, breaking walls.
Come on, everyone. Let's energize DTM Jijie with our dance.
From the sands we build our dreams, Dubai's rhythm in our themes, sharing stories full of might, lit up by the city lights. From the sands we build our dreams, Dubai's rhythm in our themes, sharing stories full of might, lit up by the city lights. Confidence is what we learn, every meeting where we turn, toast to courage to the sun, desert dreamers one by one. Desert voices echo loud, Toastmasters make us proud, in this club we stand tall, speaking
All right, and
words.
that's Desert Voices Toastmaster Club Dance. And tonight, let's welcome our very own DTM Jijie Zablan. I hope you get that energy.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you see me clearly?
Good evening. No, we don't see you. Yeah, we see you.
Yeah, we can see you.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone.
Good
Well, it's
morning.
good evening there.
Good
Here it's good
evening.
morning.
It's
And
good morning.
I'm so excited to share these points with you and more about trying to see how you could craft an international speech that can win minds, hearts, and trophies. How was that? Are you excited too? Well,
Yeah,
I would like to hear
Yes,
some
yes,
of your
we are.
comments from time to time. You know, it's a
Yes.
challenge to present via Zoom because you can't see the people around who are attending, or you can even hear. But I would appreciate that from time to time you would answer a chat, or you could show me your faces, or you let me hear your voices so that I know that you're there. Okay. Well, we've just watched the three winners of the international speech contest, which was held here in California. And you know that it takes time to craft a speech like that. But today, we're going to analyze, learn, and really put together some tips on how you could craft your own speech. It may not be for a contest. It could be, you know, to propose your love to your prospective bride. It could be proposing any business plan to a potential client. It could be any speech that could convey a strong message and possibly change lives. So we will put all this together into this hour of presentation. Right, so why do you think we deliver speeches? Well, as I have put in here, it is to deliver a message. So before you even start to think of writing a speech, you have to be very, very clear on what is that message that you want to deliver. Because only then you will be able to put it together. So you need to select the topic. If you are putting together your international speech, you've got to think of a certain topic that you would like to talk about. And I've been mentoring fellow Toastmasters and some of my clients outside Toastmasters. I help them as well craft their speeches. But you know, the question that I usually hear is, what am I going to talk about? And people who would like to deliver speeches, or I mean, fellow Toastmasters who are following the Toastmasters pathways, at times they get this challenge of not knowing what to speak about. But after today, I promise you, you will never ever run out of topic to talk about. So let's just get started. Well, you've got to know, first of all, who are your audience? What are their education, their interests, their background, their experiences? And in short, find out really what are their needs? What do they want out of life? And what do you think are their expectations? It's also worthwhile to think like, oh, what age group are you talking about? My experience of speaking for some years, I won't tell you the number of years because you'll guess my age. But I have spoken to a diverse audience from, I mean, different nationalities, be it the Filipinos, the Arabs, even Africans, and now here in US. So I know that each, for every nationality, they will have their own lingo, you may say, and even for the age group, like the teenagers, the professionals who are at the peak of their career. And in my recent job, I had the opportunity of addressing the golden, I call them as the golden girls or the golden boys who are already in their senior years, twilight years. So it's important to know that. Okay. Now, there are two forces of life. That's the pain and the pleasure. So when you're thinking about what topic to talk about, either you select the positive or the negative. So everybody would like to avoid pain as much as possible. So what is the topic that you could talk about to eliminate pain or suffering? That is certainly something that people would like to hear. On the other side, what pleasures would people enjoy? The fun things of life, the really good things that make this life worthwhile. So would you like to give me an example of the pain that people may want to avoid? I'd like to hear from you. What pain would people want? What is that? So, President Joey, if you could just, if you hear, or if somebody chat, you could answer by a chat, and I request our president to just say the answers, okay? So I would be asking questions like this, and I do appreciate it if you will answer me via chat. So can you give me examples of what are the pain in life that people would like to avoid as much as possible? Do we get answers?
Failures in career, maybe, you know.
Failures in career, yes. It could
Nobody wants to
be
talk about
like
that.
losing a job, yes.
Yes, by
Any
taking
more?
some course which will not, got fruitful, and then we have to change our
Okay,
area, stream like that, that is the
that's
failure.
good. Any more? What are the pain that we want to avoid or we would not like in our lives? aside from failure? Okay, failure in your career. What else?
You said for relationship, poverty and hunger.
Relationship. Okay, so nobody gets married thinking that they will someday be divorced, right? So a separation and a divorce, that's painful. So people would like to avoid that. What else?
Poverty and hunger.
Poverty and hunger, yeah.
And
What
some of
about for
them,
your well-being?
yeah, some of them, DTM Jijie said, losing our loved ones, natural calamities, losing something or
Yes.
someone.
Okay. Losing your health, right? That is a pain as well. Okay, we're getting there. What about pleasure? What are the pleasures of life?
Celebrations,
Celebration. Well, we
achievements.
recently, last night, we had a wonderful time here in California. It's Thanksgiving Day. And what a pleasure to be with good friends who enjoying the meal of, being together and being just grateful for life. That's certainly a pleasure, right? Okay, any more? What answers are we getting?
Birthday.
Birthday celebrations, yes.
I think promotions.
Promotions, recognition, okay. Well, we could go on and on listing all the pain and the pleasure, but I think you got the idea here. So if you chose a topic that is about pain, definitely you've got to come up with a solution or something that will not let them experience that pain. In the same way, if you want to talk about pleasure, then you've got to think of what could be the steps that you have to take so that you will experience that pleasure. So if you present your topic either from pain or pleasure side, definitely people would like to listen to you. Now let's look at let's review Anjali, the first, sorry, the second runner-up who spoke about AI. What do you think what was her pain? What was her pain? Are we getting answers?
Not yet.
What was the painful
Losing her
experience?
job to AI.
It's losing her job, exactly. And then she worked it out in such a way that the pain became a blessing, because eventually they were able to highlight or really prove that the robot or the AI cannot replace a human with a heart, right? Okay, so pleasure. Okay, what are the pleasures of the? Did you hear any pleasure from Louisa, our champion? Or pain? What was it? Was it a pain or a pleasure from our world champion? What did she speak about?
Was like blessing in disguise. What she talked about.
Okay, that's cool. So you got the idea now. Well, what I advise you to do after this presentation in your own time, watch them again and try to relate to all these topics that or the tips that we're discussing now, and ask yourself questions as well so that you can really appreciate all these tips. So from those, you could also look at your personal inventory on what are your interests in life? What are your hobbies? What are your experiences, your beliefs, your strong beliefs in life, and your skills? So these are examples of topics that you can talk about and generate ideas from the people you've met, the places you've visited, problems that you have solved, and even plans on policies that you have encountered. So talking about your values, well, that is indeed something worthwhile. Okay. What is it that you strongly believe on? Is it about respect? Is it about friendship, family, dignity, and so on? I wish we could have more of interaction now and ask you questions, but with the interest of time, I may have to skip some of this. Listening to you answer your questions. But as I ask a question, please, you could still write it, and I will go through the chat, but I won't acknowledge anymore. But so what are your number one values? Please type on the chat. 1, 2, 3. 1 as your highest value, 2, second, and third. Okay. So reviewing your values in lives, well, that could be a topic that you could talk about later. So once you have selected your topic, it's now time to craft the message. So you found out, okay, well, people are so concerned about their health nowadays. So you would now want to eliminate the pain and craft that message relating to that topic. What I advise you to do is take a business card. At the back of the business card, that's where you try to write your message. It could just be one line or a statement, and you base your script or your speech from that line. Because in that way, you will be more focused. Again, you would have to ask yourself, what is my message? So from time to time, you need to remind yourself of the message that you want to deliver in your speech. And you know, when you have, you think of positive emotions, people want to hear them. Talking about gratitude, joy, you know, you're having hope in life, despite all the challenges that we go through. If your message is to deliver hope in someone who is in despair, always sad and lonely, well, that's something worthwhile to listen to. And of course, love. Love is a universal topic that you can talk about. This time, you're ready to structure your speech. In my many years of Toastmasters, I have used the resources that are available in Toastmaster. Most especially, of course, the pathways. Yeah. Aren't you just feeling so grateful that we have this resource at our fingertips? You go onto your pathways, and on the dashboard of Toastmasters, you have access to this valuable information to help you be a better speaker and even to be a better individual, because all the lessons are there. If you have to buy these materials by yourself, they're going to cost a fortune. But now we only, you know, it's a small amount that we pay for membership. Now I'm talking about that because I want to remind you to review a manual, which was from the previous Toastmaster materials. It's Project 2, Organize Your Speech. That is my favorite manual until now. I will try if I could research that, but if you can research that online, just say Toastmaster Organize Your Speech Project 2. It is a very good research or reference on how you organize your speech. Of course, you could go to Google and just look for that. All right, so there are 3 circles here. You may want to draw them with me while I'm doing it. So draw 3 circles. So in the first circle, those are the topics that you know. You cannot talk about something that you don't know, right? Or you can research about it, but you're several steps ahead if you're going to talk about a topic that you already know. But mind you, not all the things that you know are the topics that people that you love. Okay. Well, in my case, I would know a lot of things because of my experience in life, in my career, and I'm sure you know a lot of things. Well, if you've been working or exposed with a lot of people, you travel, you have a lot of topics that you know. But what of these topics that you really love? So then put them in that circle. Your topics that you know, the topics that you love. And eventually, on the third circle, what are the topics that your audience would likely want to know? Or let's put it straight, if you're a paid speaker, what are the topics that you think people or your audience are willing to pay to listen to you? And that sweet spot in the middle, that is the topic that you're going to select. The topic that you know, the topic that you love, and the topic that your audience would like to listen to or would like to or are willing to pay to listen to you. So that could be your choice of a topic. So you've selected your topic, you have your message, you know what you want to deliver. Let's say the pain of about losing your health or your health deteriorating. So in that case, your message will be how to have a healthy body. But I'd like to remind you to ask this question because you have to begin with an end in mind. You're given a chance to speak for 7.5 minutes in Toastmaster. If you're a paid speaker, usually you are given 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, and so on. So ask yourself, at the end of my speech, what is it that I want my audience to think, to feel, and act upon? And be realistic with that, because with that span of time given to you, there's not much that you may want them to be able to think, to act, or act, to feel or act upon. But this would remind you on what words you're going to use, what quotations, what references to reinforce all of these points. Okay? Dr. Ralph Smedley quoted, a speech, would you like to read it with me? 1, 2, 3, go. A speech without a specific purpose is like a journey without a destination. So don't even attempt to speak if you don't have a purpose. You need to have that purpose. And your purpose is to deliver the message that you have already crafted. You see, when you put your speech together, it cannot be all the lovey-dovey of life. No, life is not only a bed of roses. There will be valleys in life. And they say, if it doesn't kill you, what you've heard that? If something doesn't kill you, what would happen?
Strengthen you.
Yes, it stretches you, it makes you even stronger. So to make your speech realistic, it is worthwhile to be bold in sharing your challenges, in sharing your failures, in sharing your weaknesses, and limitations. Believe me, it takes a lot of courage to be able to share the valleys of your life. It's a lot easier to share about your hills, the peak of your life, your accomplishments, your challenges, your recognition, and all the good things in life. But when you want to deliver a powerful message, it's important to know what are the valleys that you went through and share those valleys with your audience. You have to make them feel how sad, how lonely, how painful it was for you to experience those valleys. And you make them do that by the choice of words, by your facial expression. If you're talking about a valley that happened in your life, you cannot just be smiling. Of course, it should reflect on your face. It should reflect on your voice. And when you're talking about the peak, that is the joy, that's the accomplishment, that's when you will share it by ensuring that your vocal variety expresses that, as well as your facial expression. So if you look at the speeches of the 3 international winners, you will know that there are valleys in their speeches before they encounter the peak. So as you structure your speech, you may draw a straight line. Can you do that with me now? Draw a straight line in your paper. And you just try to do a curve down like this. And that's the valley, and then the peak, and then the valley. So you could come up with valleys, hills, valleys, and so on. Ideally, it is better, or at times it's more powerful if you first share a valley and then the peak of your career in your speech, so that your audience will know where you come from and you leave them with a happy heart. But if you share some joys and the peak of your life and then you end it with the valley, you leave them with a heavy heart. I mean, my style of mentoring or speaking is I try to change that from the valley, somehow bring it back to a peak when you're closing your speech. So it's up to you. You may have the peak at the start and have the valley in the middle and come back again with a peak, or start only with a valley and then end up with a peak in your speech. Okay. So as you deliver your speech, don't remind yourself again to ask this question: am I informing? Am I persuading? Am I entertaining in this speech? Well, sometimes it's the 3 purposes of your speech. You are informing them about something. You're trying to persuade them to do certain actions. But in between, you don't want them to be bored. You don't want them to switch off or do something else. You want them to be engaged, to be there with you during that span of time that was given to you. So you've got to find ways on how you could entertain them. And this is where you add humor. Humor is a very important aspect in a speech. I, for one, I'm still struggling. I'm still learning about how to put humor in my speeches, because I came from a background where I used to train people on how to use systems and computers, and how to use computers. So you can't just, be joking around about that. It's a very serious thing. But I've learned as well on how to inject humor in between. Okay. So you have the topic, you have the general purpose, and then come up with the very specific purpose of your speech. So you're coming from, in the logical point of view, you have the general purpose, but then come down to the very specific. Okay, you could not just say, oh, I want to talk about good health. That's the general purpose, but then go down into being more specific in your purpose by saying like how to maintain a good weight, or the perfect weight, the perfect shape of a body, and so on. As some of you would know, I practice yoga. One of the best things that I have ever done in my life while I was in Dubai is to learn yoga and practice yoga. So if you haven't practiced yoga yet, please give it a try, because the Friends of Yoga, by the way, Friends of Yoga Toastmaster is the child of Desert Voices. Aren't you proud of that? Desert Voices is the mother club of Friends of Yoga Toastmaster, the only club in the world that is a Toastmaster club specifically with members who are yogis or yoga practitioners. And by the way, you know that one of our members, Ashim, from Friends of Yoga, reached the international level of speech club. And as I say, it's not very far that the next international world champion of public speaking will come from Desert Voices. We've proven it already, and it can happen. And that could be you. Okay, so coming back to yoga, I want you to do this with me. Are you ready? Okay, I'd like you to say, so what? You know, with that attitude, something like this. So what? Are you ready? At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Can you just unmute yourself because I want to hear this? Ready? 1, 2, 3. So what?
So
what?
And put that shoulder up and put some attitude there.
So what?
So what?
So what?
Okay. So let's say
So what?
this has always been my style when I'm mentoring someone. And Ashim would say, I want to talk about having a good life. And then I would say, so what? And some of you would know that I'm the mentor of Mamun Gazim, our very dear Mamun Gazim, who reached the district level. And I don't know why he's not coming again. Please call him and tell him that I'm looking for him, because I haven't given up on him to be another international contestant as well. So I used to do this to him. So what? So get somebody to be your mentor or to be your close friend and let them say this to you. I want to talk about yoga. Now, just do that with me. Say, so what? And then I'll keep on answering. I say, because yoga will promote health. And then
So what?
again,
So what?
Well, when you have good health, you could do a lot of things.
So what?
So what?
So what? So you keep on saying, so what? So what? But you are now generating, the points that can prove your point. And that's where you craft your speech. I did this one time to somebody who didn't know my style. And I was referred to just mentor someone. And I did so what? And the person was like, the face, you could just make out the face that she was surprised that I'm asking such a very provocative question. And she got to know later on that it's just style for me to really bring out the best in whatever you're thinking, whatever you wanted to say. Okay, so it's also important for you to know what are the criteria of an international speech contest. I won't use the time for that, but please refer to the ballot for the international speech contest that is used by judges. Then you will have an idea how they rate an international speech. Okay. Probably we'll ask our president to ensure that everybody gets a copy of the PDF. Right. So every story will always have a beginning, right? How would a story begin usually? Come on.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. And how does it end? And they
That's how it all
okay,
started.
and they live happily ever after. Okay, excellent. Any speech will always have 3 parts: the opening, the body, and the close. But don't start with your opening as well as with your close. Leave that later. Just focus on the body. Okay, what is it that you would like to talk about? Just one message. Focus on one. Don't think about talking about health, talking about leadership, talking about friendship. No, you're going to confuse your audience. Focus only on one message. Okay, and just like what you see here, all the fruits and the vegetables are mixed up. You can't deliver a speech which is disorganized. You've got to organize your thoughts. And this is where structure comes in. You can't mix up all your ideas. You've got to find a way to structure your thoughts. And so in Toastmaster or in speech writing, we call it organized the structure or organize your speech, or what's the structure of your speech. Like you group your vegetables together, you group all your fruits together and categorize them. And the best way to do that, as some of you will know, I am a mind mapper, and those who have been close to me, my mentees, if you really want me to help you with your speech, you've got to speak my language, and that is mind mapping is one of them. So have the main points. Try to think of only 3 points. Don't put so many points in your speech. And from those points, what are the sub-points, the sub-materials that you will be using to drive that point across? Okay. 3 main points, sub-points, and supporting materials. So you've got the opening, you've got the body and the conclusion, but with the body, you've got the main ideas and supporting materials. So these are the different structural patterns. I won't talk about them in detail, but just go glance through it. Chronological, categorical, extended metaphor, comparative, divide word, spatial, cause and effect. The most commonly used organizational structure is chronological. Let's say you're doing your icebreaker. The best way is to use a time element from the time you were born, in your childhood, and your high school, and your college, and in your career, and so on. So you use time as an element, or you could just categorize the topics, or you could look at an object or something and use the metaphor to convey your message. You could have comparative, trying to compare 2 items, or you could even divide a word. The letters of the word mean something. Okay, let's say GIFT, gift, good, information, for, team, or something like that. Cause and effect. If you do this, this is what would happen. And another very common structure is problem solution. So this was used by our international speakers. Anjali used problem solution. So there was a problem there, and she offered the solution the same way for the lady who spoke about Are You Ready? Hannah. Okay, so the problem that she had was she didn't have the confidence, but she came up with a solution. So you could pick up this as one of the structure of your speech. So prove your point by coming up with your supporting materials. How do you prove your point? Statistics is one of them. So you could research in the Google and find out details about, let's say, how many people suffer, what's the percentage of people suffering with heart attack, with diabetes, with high blood pressure. But make sure that when you state the statistics, you give credit to the source of your statistics or facts and figures. That would make you even credible. Okay? Don't claim that you know it and it came from you, because when you state where you got this information, you become more credible. Testimony or testimonials, like stories of people, statements of people, that's a very good way to prove your point. Let's say I'm talking about yoga, then I would say, right, I can quote a story of someone who had a back issue, and this person went through like 3 operations, and he couldn't have a better posture. But when he started yoga, after about 3 months, he was able to recover and feel a lot better than how he was before. Oh, sorry, my slide is a little. Quotes from famous people, from Gandhi, from Jim Rohn, from Mother Teresa, and so on. Stories, anecdotes, these are good points to prove. I mean, these are very good reference materials to prove your point across. And do you know what's the best story to share? Any guess? What's the best story to share?
Personal story.
Exactly. Personal stories are the best stories to share, mainly because they are unique. I call them signature stories. You know, I'm invited to be a judge in some contest, and the very first thing I look for are personal stories. Personal stories move, you know, they just touch the heart of the audience. And the good thing, nobody can copy a personal story. You may be able to talk about someone, but no one can tell your story better than yourself. So dig into your own journals, into your own diaries, and try to reconnect with people in your life in the past. And you never know, you have some really good personal stories to share there. Okay. And you may want to use visual aids or props, just like what Louisa used. She used that, you know, when she was saying clear. So she had that, I forgot what it's called, you know, just to activate the heartbeat of someone. So those are example of visual aids. Okay. Visual aids could also be your slides, your books, and many other different things. So be creative and in putting together your visual aids. And of course, facts and figures. Don't forget to mention where you got it from. And now we move on to, so you've already structured your speech. This time you can refine it. You can make sure that you use emotions to connect with people. You see how Louisa, Hannah, and Anjali use emotions to connect with the audience. When you have the time, watch their videos again, ask yourself, what emotion do I feel by listening to this speech? Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I angry? Am I anxious? Or am I excited? And you would be able to identify the, the reason why this speech is won. It's because they touch that part of your heart, be it for pain or for pleasure. And that's how they connect with the audience. Well, just to look back on our emotions, there are fundamentally 6 emotions of people, or the human: happiness, surprise, sadness, fear, anger, disgust. So let's just, okay, I can't see all your faces, but you may want to just show your faces now. Happiness, how do you show you're happy? Surprise, you're going to widen your eyes, right? Sadness, so you show with your lips. Fear, when you're angry, you use your vocal variety and your facial expression and disgust. You don't like something. So these 6 fundamental emotions of the human being, it's experienced by everyone, isn't it? Was there a time in your life when you were happy? Of course, yes. Was there a time in your life when you really got angry? No matter how cool and calm you are? Yes. Was there a time in your life that you were sad? Yes. So this connects because you feel like, oh, she's just like me. Oh, I also feel somewhat uncertain about my job. I'm just like Anjali, who was worried about being replaced by an AI or something like that. Or yeah, I have fear of public speaking. That's why I joined Toastmaster. I'm just like Hannah. So she conveyed her fear of public speaking, her fear of starting something new, which is, I think, experienced by everyone. Recently, as shared by Toastmaster Joey, I registered or set up a company here in California. I had fears, of course. I had uncertainty, but I replaced that with the hope of experiencing happiness once I am able to do what I'm supposed to do based on my purpose in life. So all of this, someday I could talk about this experience of starting a company from my many years of experience in Dubai, from almost zero capital. But I would need to relate it in a way that people could connect with me. So that's to come in the future. Wish me luck. I will intend to be successful so that I could look back on this experience. Okay, so now, oh, wait. I haven't finished yet, but somehow my slide, okay. Are you able to see my slides now?
Still in the emotions.
Huh?
We can
Okay,
see the
well,
emotions.
Yes, in emotions.
okay. Oh, okay, one minute, because my I pressed something and it looks like, okay. Are we all right? Can you see it clearly?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we move on now. So once you have put all that together, it's time for you then to think of your opening. Your opening could be a song. It could be uh, you know, anything rhetorical. It could be a quote. It could be if you are really brave enough to even share some humor, some jokes, you could do that. But the most important thing in an opener is to grab the attention of your audience. You see how uh, Louisa did that? Clear, clear. So even if you are falling asleep, when you hear, you'll wake up, and definitely you're going to be listening to her because you can grab your attention. So come up with openers that are really going to grab the attention of your audience. Don't apologize. Don't say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late, I'm sorry, and this. Nobody would like to listen to that. They don't want to listen to all the reasons why you're late or whatever, okay, about your computer not working and everything. But as much as possible, go straight to your point. So once you have all that, you have your conclusion. Make sure that your conclusion links back to your opening. So your closing, it should also once again invoke some emotion and definitely call for action. Like at the end, that's like Hannah. It's call for action. She used the closing as call for action. Like, what is it that you would like to do now? Don't be scared. Are you ready? Go for it. Yeah, no apologizing, no Q&A. That's, or just, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do this. Oh, no need for that. Okay, so begin with an end in mind. Arrange all your thoughts, expand your points, put together an introduction, and definitely close it. Well, it will never work for the first time. Do you remember this? These are the old cassette tapes that people used to play. So it's important for you to practice, to record. I also had this, my most treasured recorder. It's a tiny little device. I was using it to record my voice at that time. Well, you don't need all this now because you have your phone. You could just use it. Get a mentor if possible. If you don't have an audience, put together chairs and some stuffed toys. If you have your pets, put them there and practice loudly. Try it out. If you could find some friends, cook for them or bribe them, then bring them all together and practice. I used to have my nephew Colin, those of you who would know him, Petros, you remember Colin at this age when we just started Toastmaster?
Yes,
He
I
was my number one audience because when he says like boring, I know I have to do something about my speech. But when he says, then what? Oh, what happened? So I know I'm able to somehow make him excited, and I know I'm in the right track. Otherwise, he is so blunt. You know, kids, they don't lie. So bring someone to listen to your story. And if this person says boring, believe them because they're always right. And don't forget to think about what you're going to wear. Don't wait in the last minute to put together your clothes. Do that ahead of time. All right. So the action plan is what I advise you to do is start with a mind map about your life. Okay. Put something like this. And just like the life of Marie Curie, this is her mind map. Come up with your own mind map of your life. And I'm sure you will be able to come up with something. In closing, I say that crafting a speech is like building a ship. It is an art. It doesn't happen overnight. You could ask Hashim and even Mamun how many versions we had used for developing their speeches. You add one word, so version 1, version 2, and so on. So you've got to keep on refining and refining it. Don't fall in love with your speech and always have the habit of saving it using a new version because you could always look back on the next one. The pen to write my story is in my hands. I shall write my story full of colors, lessons, and fun. A masterpiece to read, my gift for others to listen, with a message that surely win hearts. Yours truly, Jijie Zablan. Back to you, Mr. President, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be able to share all of these points. Right? If you're not following me in Facebook or you're not friends, please be my friend and just mention in the notes that, you know, we are in Toastmasters. If you're not a member of Desert Voices, just mention the club so we will get connected. This is my email address. I cannot promise you to answer immediately, but I will, and in due time. Okay, so all the best to all of you, and I'm excited. I'm excited to really be there as an audience when you deliver your speech. Thank you.
And so what? And so what indeed, DTM Jijie, wonderful, wonderful. I learned a lot, and
Is
I
it
think
possible to have a screenshot of everyone?
yes, please.
Just view all, I mean, show all the videos and